Okay, guys, this is Photoshop lesson number 2. This is going to be all about retouching photos, which is like small edits. So the last one that we did was like filters and brightness, contrast, things like that. This one focuses on small areas, like getting rid of, hairs that are sticking out of someone's head, like a pimple or freckle. You cloning things, so giving something like 3 eyes if you wanted to, and getting rid of like bruises, things like that. So I'm going to show you all the tools to be able to do that stuff. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is you are going to scroll until you find the website right here. It is posted in Google Classroom. And you're going to click on this and it will take you to my website. If you hover over the photography tab and you go down to editing, all of our photos that we're using for this specific practice assignment will be here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, on this banana photo, we're going to take out all the bruises so they look like perfect bananas. We're going to give this cat 3 eyes. We are going to get rid of this man's wrinkles. I'm not sure if it makes him look any younger, but as long as you guys know how to get rid of the wrinkles, I guess it's fine. We're going to get rid of this guy's scar so he looks good as new. And then for this last one, we are going to do like, I guess you could call it like glamour shots. So we're going to, make her hair a little bit brighter, her eyes a little bit brighter, get rid of some hairs and blemishes on her face. So this one's kind of just like brightening and things like that. So that's what this one's going to be. You're going to need to do 5 edits. And these are the exact edits you're going to do. You're going to follow exactly what I do in this one. So if you have to pause the video or rewind at some points, that's fine. Okay, so the tools that we're going to focus on are going to be the clone tool, which clones an area of your choice. So that clone tool is used in the cat with the 3 eyes. The patch tool repairs large areas. So like the bananas, I think we use the patch tool in the bananas. We're going to be using the dodge, burn, and sponge tool, which lightens and darkens an area. Spot healing brush and the healing brush, they remove things like pimples, blemishes, small imperfections. And the blur tool will smooth an area over. So that one's important to use too. So what you're going to do for each of these photos, this is going to be the same for every photo, how you're going to start this. You're going to click New Project. So let's start with the bananas. So I'm going to name this project Banana and then your name. And instead of changing all this stuff, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and there's all these options. We're going to click Photo and you're going to find the 5x7 one. Mine's right here. And then as you can see, it changed everything right here. So you don't have to do anything. So once you click the 5x7 photo, you can click Create. And there you go. And then I'm going to move over to my website and I'm going to copy and paste the picture on the left, not the example picture. So I'm going to right click, copy image, I'm going to go back into Photopea, click edit, and then paste. There we go. I need to make this a little bit bigger and stretch it out. So I'm going to click edit and then free transform. And I'm going to stretch it out. There we go. And once I have it stretched, I'm going to click enter and there we go. Now for this one, you're going to have to probably zoom in and zoom out. So as a reminder, to zoom in, it is Control plus. And then to zoom out, it is Control minus. So there's lots of keyboard controls when you're using Photoshop, and they're super helpful. So it's important that you try to use them. Okay, so let's start with this first banana up here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. We are going to get rid of all these bruises on it. Although the banana is perfectly fine as it is, but this is just to show you how to use the tool. So for this one, we are going to use the patch tool. The patch tool, I believe it is behind it. If you click and hold on this Band-Aid, the patch tool is right here. It looks like a Band-Aid or a patch. So again, that's click and hold. And you see all these other tools. All these tools, it's the same thing. If you click and hold, they all have different things that are behind them. So if you can't find something, you'll have to just do some right clicking or clicking and holding, and you'll be able to find it. Okay, so if I click on this patch tool here, here's how this works. I'm going to start with this bruise over here. I'm going to outline it. So I'm going to click and drag, and then you see this little outline that comes out. It doesn't have to be perfect, obviously. Mine's not perfect. And then you get these marching ants. Okay, once you get the marching ants, click inside the circle and drag. And look, it's going to copy the spot where your mouse goes. So you're going to drag until you find a spot that doesn't have any bruises. So I'm going to go right here. And they're gone. Once you're done with that area, you can click Control D as in dog, and those circles or the marching ants will go away. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to just keep doing it. So you're going to find another area that needs fixing. I'm going to outline it with my circle. I'm going to click inside the patch, and I'm going to drag, and wherever my mouse goes, that's where I'm going to find the spot that I want. And then Control D gets rid of it. There's a couple over here I kind of want to get rid of. Now what you want to do, so you can see I'm dragging this. I don't want to drag it down here because then it's going to get that green background in that area. I don't want that. I want this to blend in as much as I can. So try to just drag to an area nearby. And then Control D. And then I have, this one might be a little bit tricky because it's very close to the edge. Okay, let's see. I think we can still do it though. How about down this way? Control D. Okay, that's not too bad actually. I thought it would be worse. This little area. I'm also very picky, so I'm going to go through like every area that has a tiny little blemish. Control D. Okay, I like this. All right, so then after I do all my patch tooling and my Control D, I'm going to click on the blur tool, which is the one that looks like a raindrop. Right here, blur tool. Now this is a very subtle tool, so it's only gonna, you're not gonna notice a huge difference, but that's the whole point. So this tool is going to just like kind of blur the rest of these smaller areas that I didn't get to make them not so obvious. This is a very tiny brush. If you want to make this brush bigger, you can click on the bracket keys on your keyboard. The bracket keys are next to the P on your keyboard. So there's like one that kind of is open to the left and one that's open to the right. So if you click on the bracket keys, your brush gets bigger and bigger. So I'm going to try to go over some of these areas with this blur tool. Every time you click, it will become more and more blurred. So if I just click and hold, it's only going to blur a certain amount. But if I every time I click, it will blur more. So I don't know if you can really tell. It is very subtle. I'm just kind of getting rid of all these like excess spots just to blend in a little bit better. I'm trying not to go onto the green because I don't want the banana to like blend in with the green. Okay. There we go. So there's my first banana. I think it looks pretty good. It looks better than this banana. Okay, so what you're going to do with the next two, you're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to take your patch tool. You're going to make your little circle. You're going to click inside your circle, and you're going to drag till you find the area you would like to replace it with. Now, as you can see, this one, like it's really dark over here. So if you can't find an area, it could be that you made your circle too big. So if that's the case, just click Control D and I guess it worked. And then, let me see. Okay, there we go. I can just click Control D and I can just make a smaller area if I wanted to. Now, another thing, if you mess up, so let's say I did this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to do that, right? I click Control D, it's still there. You can click Control Z as in zipper And that is the undo button. This is your best friend. The undo button. Every time you click it, it will undo. It'll keep going a step back, a step back, a step back. So you don't have to panic if you do something, that you didn't want to do. So just try to remember for this tool, the only keys you really need to know are Control D, as in dog. That is to get rid of the marching ants, and then Control Z if you mess up. And then, of course, if you want to change your brush size with the blur tool, you just click the bracket keys. So I'm going to let you go ahead and finish up your banana. And once you are finished patching and blurring all 3 bananas, you are going to come up here to File, Export as, JPG. Okay? And then once you do that, you're going to post it in the assignment, and you can move on to the next tutorial.